We're mean, we're strong, we're a team. We're the very best team you've ever seen.
What's going on, guys? A very, very special edition of the main event coming to you this week. We're collaborating with the boys from the Brisbane Lions Fancast, otherwise known as BLFancast on their social media. And we're going to cover a very special buy round sort of episode. I mean, there's not a lot going on in terms of the Brisbane Lions this week. They're all training the house down, as our favourite media people would say. But instead, we're just going to get together and chat some footy and, provide a bit in this weekend of absence of no Lions footy. Fellas, Patrick, JB, how are we all doing?
Good, mate. Thanks for having us. This is exciting times. It's sort of like a big team effort here. I mean, I've been watching what you guys have been doing this year and big fan of it. So it's good to come together and put something out with both of you. Yeah,
awesome, man.
I assumed I'd been blacklisted at this point in time, but apparently not. So here I am.
No, mate. Thank you, boys, for jumping on with us. And, of course, we do have our great man, Egg Footy, of course, joining us, as always, every week on the main event. Egg, mate, how are you doing yourself?
Good, man. I've had a chaotic couple of days. I injured my ankle Friday night playing footy. I just had a family engagement that I had to that I only just wrapped up then. I had to delay this recording for about 15 minutes, which I felt really bad about, but luckily everybody's pretty chill. It's been hectic. And I had to buy a suit for a wedding yesterday as well, so I'm keeping myself busy during the bye week.
Dude, busy man. No, it's all good, man, about being late. Shit happens. We've just been sitting here just talking shit anyway and sort of, a lot of JL talk, which I'm sure Patrick is eager to get into at some stage of this potty. But, hey, man, we're going to get straight to you boys, Patrick and JB. I want to sort of dig a bit deeper into what you boys are about, your background in podcasting, all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, how long have you guys been podcasting for?
Pretty much about a year now, a bit over a year. So it's the sort of thing I've been toying with for maybe the last 4 or 5 years, thinking, this is the year I'm going to start a Brisbane Lions podcast. And just for whatever reason or not, just never went through with it. And last year I just sort of went, you know what, on the spur of a moment, busted out an episode and got some relatively good feedback, and then just sort of grew from there. And me and Pat had spoken about doing it a few years ago, and it never really went anywhere. So it all just sort of came together, and it's been heaps of fun.
Hell yeah, man! It's podcasting is it's a lot of fun. It's very casual, and it's sort of just one of those things. You can do it anytime, any place, and let this be sort of a lesson to anyone out there that's listening. If you got an idea for something and you want to do a podcast, just say fuck it and do it. You never know how much fun it could be or what it can lead to. I mean, for us, it was I'd sort of the same boat as you, man. I always wanted to sort of do a Brisbane Lions podcast, and never really just the wheels never got moving in terms of an idea or anything. And then you just one day say fuck it, man. So that's awesome. Before we get any further into podcast sort of topics and all that sort of stuff to do with the BL Fancast, I want to have a chat to you guys about your fandom as well in terms of the Lions. So JB, I'll start with you, man, as well. How long ago did you how long have you been following the Lions for, and how did that all come about?
Since birth, basically. I was born, so I grew up in Melbourne and born into a Fitzroy family. My granddad actually played for Fitzroy back in the 40s, so he was a member of that sort of 44 premiership team back in the day. So I didn't really have a choice, and so when they merged with Brisbane, just sort of, a few people decided to jump ship and go, I might support St Kilda now or whatever, but we just sort of, followed the merge. So obviously got to enjoy the best part of that three-peat premiership. I was 11 through 13 during that time, and then when I decided I was going to get the fuck out of Melbourne, I thought, I might as well go to Brisbane and watch my team play. And that was about bit over 10 years ago now. So, it's been great being able to go to the Gabba each week. And one of the very first games I ever went to moving to Brisbane was the Miracle on Grass. So that was a nice little warm-up to things. Dude,
that's fucking epic. Patrick, how about you, man? I mean, I'm loving the jumpers in the background there, the Fitzroy VFL one, mate. What's your story with the Lions, man?
So mine's more actually on the shirt. So I'm a Brisbane boy that now lives in Victoria, but largely it was just a matter of I don't remember, but I was going to Bears games at Carrara back in the day with my dad and with my brothers and stuff. So I mentioned it before on the podcast, but if you watch some old footage, there's like a weird set of seats, like section that's under the social club, and it's like a triangle, which were the shittest seats in the entirety of the Gabba, and that's where we would always sit. So that was until the merge happened, and then we became members from 97, and then through up until my mum had been a member all the way through. My dad passed away in 09, so that was his kind of last half season, I guess. But she kept going with some friends and stuff like that. I kind of dropped off because when you become an adult, you sort of have other things to do at different times. But I think there was an element of false hope with the Leopard years that things might change, and then that obviously was terrible. And then when Fagan kind of came in, that was sort of when Brooksy and I started getting to know one another as well. So we went to a few games in those seasons. So, yeah, I mean, Brooksy said before we toyed with the idea of doing a podcast. I've still got the original notes I wrote back in about 2020, and they're like scrawled. And it's more or less what it is. Like, it's a bit less insane than on those notes. So, but yeah, for me, it's been member for a long time. I'm the only one in my family not to see a winning grand final. I've been to 2 losses. So that one sucks, having been to the Port Adelaide one and now the Collingwood one. Let's not talk about it, eh?
Yeah, there's some tough days there, man. I mean, I was only, 7 years old for the Port Adelaide game, and even I was gutted. You know, I think as a kid, you don't really sort of have the grasp of, because by that point as well, I've already watched all 3 grand finals, like the 3-peat at that point, like not live, but on TV. And dude, it's gut wrenching. So, and that means I'm assuming you, of course, went to last year's game too. Am I the only one here that didn't witness that in person? I know Egg went.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And me and Pat went together last year as well, and the first and only time I've received a health warning on my smartwatch was during the 3rd and 4th quarters, and I was literally sitting there in silence, and my watch was like, "Hey, your heart rate's at 139. Are you all right?" And then in the 4th quarter, I was like, "Hey, it's 155 now. You must be doing some serious exercise." I'm literally just sitting there like.
It was funny because he showed me that sitting next to him, and I was like, "Oh, what a peasant!" Like, yeah. And I was like, "I think I'm doing all right." And then I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm not doing all right." Like, it was a very clear indication. But yeah, the Port Adelaide one stung because we actually drove down, so it was drove down straight back up. I think I've told the story where I forgot to take my little Sony CD sleeve with my Discman, and I had one CD, which was in the thing, which albeit was a classic, Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age, but when you've listened to that 48 times, it starts to wear a bit thin. So,
dude, that would drive me fucking insane. I can't do long trips for the life of me, and then throw in a grand final loss in there. Oh, fuck that, dude. But that's the thing.
The millionaire doesn't hit the same anymore, so can't listen to No One Knows anymore.
Yeah, dude. That would fucking suck. That would actually suck. Like, I was sat there watching it at home and felt like I could vomit the entire time. So I couldn't imagine the stress of being there. And I had a ticket as well, but unfortunately, like, I've got a crippling fear of flying, so I haven't been on a plane in 10 years. If we make it back to the promised land this year, man, that might change because I won't have any commitments this year as well that require me to stay in Perth. But yeah, my second reason was obviously, like, I at a student fucking radio station. We were at the Royal Show that whole week leading up to it, so it's just no way I could get to Melbourne even if I wanted to. But this year I might join you there, fellas. Let's. But that's we got a season to turn around first year for the most part.
Jesus.
God, fingers crossed, eh? Yeah. Quick little sidebar though. Like, how did you guys actually meet and sort of get together?
So we met during the RecLink Community Cup that was happening in Brisbane. I think it was the second year that was running. The Community Cup's like a charity Aussie Rules event that's happened in Victoria. I think they had their silver game a couple of years ago. And the premise is that it's musicians against like music media. Yeah. So Brooksy was on the side of the music media and I was on the musician side at the time. And yeah, he said that I looked like James Aish at the time. I told him to fuck right off. And basically from there, it was all good. Like, it's one of those big things where you kind of, everyone's training all together. So you kind of, the idea is you sort of meeting and whatnot. And I hadn't played footy in forever. I'd played soccer, kind of through my teenage years and early adult and stuff like that. But it was kind of my reinsertion into playing Aussie rules. So it was fun. And yeah, we just got along and then ended up going to some games together and struck up a pretty decent friendship. And now, Brooksy's one of my best mates. So it's good.
Awesome, man. That's fucking awesome.
I don't think I've told you that before, Brooksy, but you're one of my best mates.
Thanks, fella.
Do you take that as a compliment, Brooksy?
Absolutely. I mean, like, you guys are a little bit younger than us, but
yeah,
as you get older, it's just harder to forge, like, I don't know, decent and meaningful friendships with people as you become an adult. So when it happens, it's good that you can just find people to connect with.
Yeah, it really does become a lot harder. Like, I feel like social media's made it a lot easier, but I mean, Egg, you've probably, is this your first year at footy training?
It's my third year of senior footy training. I started playing back in 2022 after like an 8-year break after some junior footy.
Yeah.
And it's starting to show some effect on my body.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure you've made like some, a lot of mates through that as well. Hey, like in that time period.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, for sure. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Just,
it's good to like where I was at late 2021 when I decided like, I want to start playing footy again, like mental health wise. Like I sort of like, had a friend group that kind of fell apart from school, and like it became apparent like there wasn't really a spot for me in the friend group anymore because everybody else was doing their own thing and like not inviting me to shit. And I'd constantly go into Snapchat and see like them out in the valley having a good time. Meanwhile, I'm in my room playing fucking Overwatch. And then some other stuff, more upsetting stuff happened in 2021. Had a relationship fall apart. I tried to move in with one of my mates, move out of home, and that died in the ass because the housing market in Brisbane had just started to shit itself, and some other stuff happened, and it just like I was at the lowest of the low, and like it was at that point where I decided like I need to do something to like get out of this like cycle of shit. So like I thought going back to footy would be the way to go about it. And then like that 2020 2021 is that like that's when I started to really like fall back into full in love with footy again after like a couple of years out in the wilderness. And that kind of was like that was kind of like the chain of events that set into motion me making YouTube content. For sure.
Yeah, fucking right.
That's
dude.
awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, dude. It's got pretty deep quickly, but man, that's like it puts in perspective. No, it's good, dude. Like it puts into perspective, like how much like anything like local footy can like help you make mates, and even just how footy brings us all together as well. Like like we're two separate Lions podcasts here, and we're sort of coming together, for the love of not just the club, but also a great sport. I mean, as I say every single week, this is the greatest sport on the planet. So it's awesome just to sort of hear the effects that even just like you starting to play footy was sort of the that helped fix the root to some of your problems. You know what I'm saying? So no, thanks for sharing that.
It's all coming post COVID as well. Like it's a horrible time for a lot of us. So
yeah, like I had a career kind of fall apart. I was going to be a pilot before COVID, and then that kind of killed the industry. And then I picked a bad flight school that, and yeah, like 2021 was just a dog shit year for me. So yeah, that kind of falls into it as well. Like it fucked up a lot for me.
Yeah, man.
You're not alone. 2021 like rooted a lot of people for a lot of different reasons.
Oh yeah, big
Absolutely.
time. Like I used to do it's turning into a therapy session. I love it. Like I used to fucking do like a YouTube channel where I was interviewing like professional wrestlers and stuff like that. Like we interviewed fucking, like I know Patrick, you'll appreciate this. Like we interviewed The Godfather, we interviewed Al Snow, we knew Jack's last interview before he passed away. Hardcore Holly. And all that sort of blew up, and like we're sort of getting somewhere with it as well. I'm not going to plug it. I'll give you guys it. I'll give you guys a link after we're done here because I'm not going to fucking advertise them for shit. But yeah, it all sort of just like blew up my face around that same time period, man. Like 2021. I think sort of, and a lot of it to my own doing. Don't get me wrong, because I was trying to run this channel, and I was a bit of a military sergeant, and I think as well like my mental health just from being like so cooped up in this house, and like jobs were a bit scarce as well because of obviously like there's just a lot of shit going on at that point. And yeah, man, just sort of all blew up and sort of, just end up being sort of a rock bottom moment again. But here we are, man. Like we're all back here in 2024, feeling good, looking good, and doing some pretty cool things. But it's shit time, man, shit time. But we'll move on to a time that's not so shit, and that is the bye, because I think this bye has come in at a very good time for us now. Fuck, man. How do you boys spend your bye rounds typically? Like, are you always just watching all the other games that are on at the moment?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, that is me on my third monitor right now too, man.
Yeah, that is I'm what you'd describe as a full footy enough. Cannot get enough of it, no matter who's playing. So I'll try and watch every game.
Yeah.
During the week, so all 9 if I can, but a good majority of them anyway. So full immersed into footy.
How about you, Patrick? What's your
I
going?
think I've got a little bit more class than he does, but you know, not the video. No, to be honest, like my interest in footy stuff tends to be dictated by how the team's going in its immediacy, particularly given the profile of the team. So let's see. Well, opening round we played. Did we play last? No, we played second. Or did we play last? I can't remember.
First round. Second.
I did watch all the games in opening round. Brooksy, you were astounded by that. And then the nature of playing last on the first round was that I watched quite a lot of footy. Did I watch much footy this weekend? I think I did. I think I loosely watched all the games yesterday, but I'm kind of just like not super intently, to be honest. Like the way the game's played at the moment seems like if you're a bit shit, it's a bit shit to watch.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so well drilled and so highly skilled if you're a little bit off the mark. A bit like Hawthorn yesterday, where they were just a little bit off, and it wasn't particularly enjoyable. Plus, also watching Melbourne have a good time is up there with like cardinal sins. So, look, I keep tabs. I've found this year, and particularly like going into the back end of last year, a lot of the footy analysis shows on Fox Footy are just not particularly good anymore.
I know.
I don't enjoy on the couch because Gary Lyon is insufferable. I like Bucks and I like Brownie, but it's not a very good combination anymore. Like that show kind of, from where it was with Jared Healy and Paul Roos and stuff, like shadow of itself. And even then, like Waitley and Robbo are a little bit. That show just kind of tends to be a plug for a lot of weird stuff. And then like the guys on First Crack. If Ben Dixon's hosting First Crack, it's amazing. But if it's Hudson, it's kind of no bueno. So bit of SEN stuff here and there, but at the same time, I don't need to hear people talking about Nick Dacos every week and Carlton every other week and stuff like that. So tends to be mainly footy classified. I tend to watch because it kind of, rather than trying to masquerade as like an analytical footy show, it just kind of talks about mainly a lot of the business and decision making sides around it. And then when they do talk strats, they've got Lordo and
Jimmy Bartell.
Bartell, I was going to say the cocaine woman's husband, but that's what they got, and it's good. So, and I don't find Eddie Maguire as insufferable as say Brooksy. So
yeah, I would love to like I try to consume so much like footy content every week in terms of like not just the games, but like, I mean, I don't go out of my way to go watch like all the fucking analytical shows either. Like, I really want to watch 360, but I just can't fucking for the life of me stand Robbo. Like, I can't do it.
Oh, he's awful. I hate him.
He
sounds like drunk like 24/7.
Because he is. I just read one of his arrived to the studio from Warrender.
Yeah.
He's just...
We'd think a few near-death experiences would have kind of cleaned up his health, but evidently not. I don't mind Robbo. I think he's kind of funny and he's a bit like a weird drunk uncle, but it's just the format of the show. Like, if they just said on Monday night, hi, we're 360, we're going to cover these topics, and on the couch you can cover these topics and we won't double up. Just do that. Like, that'd be a lot better because, you know, the amount of time they don't give... And it's not only just like not giving time to the Lions, it's giving time to a lot of clubs that are like not particularly in vogue, or like, you know, ones that aren't in dire straits. Like it's kind of forgetting the middling part of what it is to kind of follow a football club, which is like, you know, how you tracking your general analytics and stuff like that. But I find it frustrating, just that level of like, there's no chat obviously between the shows, and I just don't think the analysis is particularly good. I don't mind the interviews with the players and coaches, but Fago doesn't look like he's been there this season. I hope not. Jeez.
Don't think so. I know he was there a fair bit last year because I had a solid run with 360 last year, and we actually got a fair bit of coverage. All things, I mean, you'd have Lockie Neal interview every few weeks. You'd have 1 week we had Will Ashcroft, which was a good opportunity for him. Really good speaker for his age. I'm sure we'll end up talking about him at some point in the show. But yeah, I haven't seen Fags on there this year at all. I'm sure someone will correct us if we're wrong, but I haven't seen it either. It's been all about fucking Carlton and how shit at Collingwood and all this stuff. Like, there hasn't been much coverage for us, and it's, I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind it after the past few years. I mean, it's sort of if we go back and compare to like where we were from like, you know, to 2010 all the way up to what, like 2018 or whatever it was, coverage for us was so like few and far between. And it was back then I used to be like, oh, like, why aren't they talking about the Lions, blah blah blah. And nowadays it's like, thank God they're not talking about us. Like, it's it feels nice for a change, especially after the past year or so. I feel like last year we were getting smashed by the media, especially earlier on in the season when Danaher and Hippie weren't at their best. The media just fucking dragged them through the mud like so bad. But yeah, I'm like overall, yeah, those shows are kind of like, I really want to get into them. I try to give On the Couch a go every now and then because I just love Bucks and Brownie, especially Brownie. Like, massive shout out Brownie's podcast if you listen to that. It's a fucking cracking podcast. But I just, as you said, Gary Lyon is insufferable.
Gary Lyon's the problem, man.
Yeah, he is. He sucks.
Didn't he fuck Billy Brownless' wife or some shit?
Probably.
Yeah, they just got married.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah. So it was like after Billy and his wife split up, then Gary just sort of horned his way in not too soon after, and it was a real big deal because it's like one of the rules, you don't shit up your best mate's missus, and
not yet anyway.
Yeah.
It's just, it's even stuff like him wearing all of that, like his wristbands and stuff. It's like, how old are you, dude? Like, sort it out.
Grown ass man.
And like, he's always fucking late to the show as well. Like Robbo, he's always like, just the fact is a fucking there's a what's the word I'm looking for here? A common denominator on both shows. Like, everyone can collectively agree that these two are the problem. And hey man, maybe those shows might actually be worth watching if both of them were to go. But also at the same time, we know how much Fox Footy holds Gary Lyon in high regard. I mean, he's everywhere. You know, like every big game he's there. Every fucking Monday, Monday night he's there. Like, he's just there waiting for us to give his shit takes.
My watch this space. Sorry, go on, Ego.
I really enjoy Jason Dunstall. I don't know about you blokes, but I think he's I think very highly of him, and he does a good job on bounce. But like, there have been times where he's like subbed in for Robbo because he's off in a fucking dive bar somewhere, and he's there with Jared Healy. Not Jared. Waitley, sorry. And the show's actually very good, and I can actually like absorb what they're saying and like really like listen to it and enjoy it. And then the next week, Slowbo's back, and then Waitley says something coherent, and then all of a sudden Slowbo comes in like, and it's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah, no, Dunstall's really good, and like, as trash as bounce is, like, he can shift into bounce mode, but then when he's needed to give like accurate and good analysis, Dunstall's like one of the best. And then he gets employed by footy boards to help find new coaches and stuff like that as well. So he's obviously got his head screwed on right.
Yeah.
The other one is Ben Dixon. Sorry. When Ben Dixon was on the couch a couple of episodes last year, fantastic. Completely changed the complexion of the show. Ben Dixon's a great analyst as well.
He likes the Lions.
But also, so I was going to say my watch is because, you know, Gary Lyon is so heavily invested in Angus Brayshaw. Watch him just shift that onto Andrew Brayshaw and try and pull him to Melbourne this year, because he was absolutely going all on about him in that Fremantle game. So that's my watch this.
Yeah. I feel like
here's the thing. I think Channel 7's becoming like a dark horse with AFL content. Like, some of the stuff they're putting out is actually like not bad. Like, they've always had the front bar, which is, I think, is very good. They're starting to bring Trent Cotchin in now to do some stuff. I've seen like some shorts on Twitter of him like breaking down games and stuff, and like, it's, I actually like it. Like, he makes a lot of sense. He's like, it's easy to digest, and I think they should give him more budget, because it looks amateur hour right now because like he's just like sitting in front of a green sheet in an office somewhere. You can hear background noise in the background. No, but like the Channel 7's like $1 billion corporation. You're just a guy. And like they got like a 3-time premiership captain there, and they got him in a fucking hallway of an office in front of a green screen, no proper microphone, no nothing, trying to like break down some film and like give insight into. So there's a Ranger and a Richmond jumper yelling at Lockie Jones, fucking like you need to like nurture that shit and grow that shit because like stuff like that's actually good. Like people in Channel 7 and Fox Footy, it's like they have no concept of quality. Like they don't know what people want. They have no idea what people will gravitate towards. And like instead of like giving Trent Cotchin the budget and the setup that he deserves, they've got him just like in an office somewhere. It's like it's outrageous.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, man. I just, my mate has this like a lot of reservations about AFL media, right? Like he's always like, because he's a massive NBA guy as well. And he's always and to be honest, I don't even think the NBA do it right half the time either. So I don't exactly know what he's harping on about. But just his, because he's a casual AFL fan, and he's always just like, the biggest thing that turns him off is not the games itself or the actual, the game, but it's always like the coverage and the analytical shows. Like when he gets into a sport, he wants to consume everything. And that's the hard part about footy is like all of these fucking analytical shows are just so fucking just bleh. Like, it's just, I don't know what to do with them, man. I don't know how you can fix it. I think it's just Fox Footy need to get their shit together, I guess. And even some of the other channels and stuff like that. But what do we know, man? What do we know? Maybe Slobbo's there for a reason.
Well,
maybe he has some dirt on somebody.
Yeah.
Head writer of the Herald Sun. Now, I'd put it down to this. I'd use this as an example. So, like, generally, like, movie ratings are kind of inconsequential to the individual. And this is going way off topic. But if you find a movie reviewer that you like, that likes similar movies to you, that's great. Like, that'll be the thing that you go off. Like, even if it's a shit movie that they like, or if it's a great movie that they don't like, that tends to work. And it's a bit like that with consuming larger media. So you talk about your mate with the NBA. I'm a bit like that with Premier League, where it's like, if you watch the actual Sky Sports or BBC Premier League stuff, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But if you find like a couple of niche presenters, or if you support a certain club and they do analytics and stuff, it's great because you find the right person with the right kind of medium to do it. It's just that because we've got such a smaller sport by comparison, it's harder to find those little things. And because everyone is so like, split apart by which teams they support, it's hard to find. So, that's kind of what Brooksy and I were trying to sort of do more than anything, is just find like a space where people can come and, if they have similar views, great. If they don't, then great.
Yeah.
Either way,
If you've got differing views, at least in that point, like, everyone's sort of learning from each other. Unless you get those odd people out there, different view means a fucking, I don't know, I'm rocking up to the house with a pitchfork and haystack or something like that, But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess with the buy, I'm grateful this time around. It's like, it's not one of those, like, I'm sure we're still going to have one of these at some point in the season. I probably need to bring the fixture up before talking about this, but we're not watching our team play this week yet. There's 8 other games of footy on. So I guess it's kind of nice as well. And also where we're at the moment with, our injuries and, some of the problems at the club that we've been facing in our first couple of games, I feel like this bye couldn't have come at a better time either. So I guess the overall question I was going to ask next was, so I already asked you this question this past week, Egg, but I guess, like, do you guys enjoy having buys as part of the season? Because I remember once upon a time we never had them.
Like that, how it's treated us recently, especially last year when we came off the loss to Adelaide, had the week off to refresh and regroup, and then got smacked by Hawthorn. And I don't know, I'm kind of worried it's going to happen again. Just like contextually, the bye mean bad.
Yeah.
But as you said, it couldn't have come at a better time, which is weird to say after 2 weeks of footy. But hopefully, it gives us the chance to address what's going wrong in the first couple of weeks and really pull our finger out of our ass, give Lockie the chance to, rest the groin, rest his shoulder, and a couple of others to just rest whatever couple of niggles they may have had. So, I don't know. I guess it'll be like, we'll wait and see. And whoever loses this game on Thursday, it's obviously going to mean like pretty bad things for them, I guess, especially if it's Collingwood, if they go 0-4. And and then we've got a game against North Melbourne, but after that we've got away games against Melbourne and GWS. So I'd fucking like a win, please.
Yeah, I'm aching for it, man. It's like you just sort of reminded me of what we were like post-bye last season. It's like these boys like needed a week or two of like actual game time before they can actually switch on. And it's almost looking like as well that, going 0-2, could this third game, if there was no bye, be the time we switch on? And then you throw the bye in the mix. So that sort of throws it back another week or two, depending on where the team is at. So this Thursday is a really big worry. We'll just get straight into this sort of the preview in this Collingwood game, because I think that's sort of the big talking point of this show. I know we are going to chat some VFL as well very shortly, but we'll get to that just after this Collingwood one. But it's like, it's a fucking worry, and it's a serious danger game, and honestly a danger game for both teams. Patrick, I'll start with you, man. This is the grand final rematch. How are you feeling going in towards this one? 0-2 versus 0-3.
I don't really know. And I know that's probably a terrible answer to give, but, you said before, where are we with buys? It's like, well, given Tassie coming in, buys are probably here to stay.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that in terms of, are they going to be, 5 teams that get an extra buy in a season? They're going to have to figure that out pretty quick smart. That's all I'll say about the buy. No, it's not. So different to some of the other years and, how we've started poorly, we haven't had injury issues like this in quite a long time.
Oh, we've been lucky up until this point. Very lucky.
Particularly with the soft issues that Brooksy and I have definitely talked about in terms of like our high performance and stuff like that. So I think it has come at a good time. With regards to the game, it doesn't... Dare I say this is the biggest Easter Thursday game ever?
Yeah, I'd agree, 100%.
In terms of what it does mean to the, I don't know. I think there are things that are made to be broken, and I think that as 0-3 start to a season can be recovered from. Is it the kind of situation where we're looking at where Sydney were last year, where they struggled definitely after that grand final loss, but then they did kind of steam home towards the end of the year? I just think the way that the team is and the injuries that have happened within the team have really stifled, I think, a lot of probably what had been worked on in the training ground in the off season. We were talking all about our rebound off halfback and that being one of our biggest weapons, and playing transition and stuff like that, and that's just gone. So we've got to find a new way to do it, and whether that's looking at stoppage as a higher scoring option, that's been pretty woeful for us at times. But yeah, it's a worry, but I think we can win, and Collingwood being as poor as they've been, whether it's kind of inconsequential or not, it's kind of taken a bit of heat off us. So maybe that'll be good for them to go, well, both teams are under scrutiny, so at least it's a level pegging field, rather than them having, won all 3 of their games. We'd be fucked otherwise. So
yeah, man, it's a scary one, man. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm getting a lot of my mates sort of, telling me it's going to be sort of not a cakewalk, but like everyone's sort of tipping us, and even like the bookies as well, going more responsibly. They're also just really, we're almost going into this game heavy favourites. Like if I bring up where we're at the moment, right before I get to you as well, JB, on your thoughts on this one, we're going to just take a quick look here, because this is what concerned me last time I looked. It may have changed, but right now, so we're winning $1.38 and Collingwood are $3. I don't like that, because historically when we're the heavy favourites, we normally underperform. How do you feel going into this one, JB? Are you shitting yourself like me?
Well, I think those odds are, like, if that was at the MCG, those odds are flipped 100%.
100%, absolutely.
I think the fact that it's at the Gabba is really playing into the fact that we are heavy favourites, because we've only lost 1 game there in the last 12 months, and that was almost an anomaly. As we said on our podcast, we win that game 99 times out of 100. So I am very thankful that it is at the Gabba, because at the last place we want to be at the moment is the MCG, when we're already licking our wounds, going to the place where we can't win a game of football, coming up against a hostile Collingwood crowd that are getting more hostile by the week at the moment as well. So thankfully it is at the Gabba. I mean, I do have a bit of faith that we can get it done. Just Collingwood don't look like themselves at the moment, but having said that, neither do we. What we have shown, though, compared to Collingwood, is we've had some really good bursts of footy. And read into what you will, the preseason games. Like, Sydney's looking fucking hot right now, and they never looked like they were in it against us. Once again, preseason, so it's not real. And we towed the Gold Coast up by 50 odd points, who up until today were 3 in zip or 2 in zip or whatever they were. So I think we can get it done. It's just going to really be at the selection table and what Fags decides he wants to do with certain players. We need to sort this issue out behind the ball, and I pray to God we just see Zorko down there a little bit more with his foot skills and decision making, because no Kenny and no Kadeen has really just thrown. I know you guys said on your podcast, like, our backline at the start of the year was just so stacked. We had 3 key position players that are all like elite in Duday, Harris, Jack Payne, who isn't looking elite at the moment, but and then we've got stars around him, Kitty, Kenny, now Answorth's in the team, and now suddenly Gardner goes down with a potential PCL. We still haven't heard what that's out. Kitty's out, McKenna's out for the next 3 weeks and stuff. So suddenly that stacked backline is in a little bit of disarray, and we haven't really had a proper plan for it. Jared Berry was just not the answer. So if we can sort that out, it goes a long way. And then our midfield needs to lift as well, because they've been absolutely smacked the last 2 weeks. Yeah, man, it's a bit of a scary one to sort of think about how quickly our backline sort of diminished like that. Hey, like, you just put it in really good perspective as well. It was only fucking 4 weeks ago we thought they were untouchable. And of course they played flawless preseason games. But again, as you said, we can't look too much into the preseason. Egg, I want to get to you here. How are you feeling about this this grand final rematch? You're going to be at the game. I think you, JB, you're going to be at the game as well? Yeah, I'll be there.
Yep. Egg, you'll be there. I know you'll be there. How are you feeling going into this one?
I feel okay. Like, I don't feel too freaking nervous about it, because we've both been kind of trash the last couple of weeks. But I'd argue that we have a bit more of a reason to be trash. Like, we've lost one of our best in the team in Kitty Coleman. We had no McKenna. Jack Payne played like dog shit. We've had Lockie Neal under an injury cloud. Like, we are not full tilt. Whereas Collingwood, minus a few key forwards, like, that's pretty close to what they had when they won the flag. So, like, they are a lot more full strength than us, and like, I can't believe I forgot, but Will Ashcroft as well, we still don't have him back in. Like, we've had a lot of disruption, and we've had a lot of shit not go our way. So, like, it's gonna be interesting. Like, we can definitely win this, but we have no business losing it, I don't think. Like, we should lock this up if we know it's good for us. Like, even though 0-3 isn't the end of the world, like, it's pretty, not to be dramatic, but it's pretty fucking close to it.
It does make it very difficult. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I'll be really nervous if we put on the first 4 or 5 goals.
Oh yeah,
because that hasn't worked well for us the last couple of weeks. It'll feel good for a split second before I have horrific flashbacks.
I feel like we're just so much better coming from behind. I feel like when the boys know that there's a sense of urgency, that's when they switch on and play their best footy. In close. And I can't believe I'm saying that either, because in the past, like around probably 2019, 2022, probably that sort of space of time there, I feel like any time we had a few goals scored on us early or anything like that, the game was over. And then I think sort of last year we saw a bit of a shift, mainly even going back to maybe the second half of 2022, sort of saw that shift. Like Melbourne got up on us in the semi-final by a handful of goals, and the boys, they came out after halftime and ended up, winning that game. And I think ever since then, we've sort of seen a pattern where when the heat gets turned up, they've been able to sort of, really play their best footy with a bit of sense of urgency as well. But yeah, the moment we get up by 46 points, they seem to get complacent. That's where I sort of get worried that we may have an attitude problem with some of these guys. I know that last year in round 1 with the Port Adelaide game, I don't know if you boys ever listened to Robbo's podcast when he did a couple of episodes of that with Zorko. Zorka came out on there and he just said, well, I think we may have been smelling our own shit a little bit before that game, and then we're getting smacked by Port Adelaide by 56 points. And I'm really, really, really hoping, since the grand final last year and since those awesome preseason performances, that the boys haven't got a bit complacent with themselves as well, because it's a long season and teams are a lot better this year. And I think it's just, they've got to really get it going. Even if they're up by 46 points in the first quarter, for the love of God, just keep the foot down, pedal to the metal. We've got to hit it home and just fucking, shut teams out before they can even begin a run of momentum. Sure, they might, get a few goals here and there, but that's in the opposition. But let's not get complacent just because we're 46 up in the first quarter. We know how the game's evolved and it's very quick now, and teams can score. We're looking at Freo, who have just scored 8 consecutive goals on a team 2 weeks in a row. And for a team like Fremantle to do that is pretty scary. Mind you, that was against North Melbourne, so take their performance with a grain of salt, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. It's a funny one, boys, and I don't know how I feel about it personally. I'm nervous for it. I still think we should do it, but it's going to be a very, very interesting night at the Gabba. I'm going to be sitting here in Perth in my comfortable house, shitting myself. Meanwhile, some of you boys are going to be at the game, fucking stressing your heads off, and knowing that if we go down 0-3, especially to Collingwood, the team that took our flag away from us last year. Shit, dude, this is going to be a painful evening. So I wish everyone good luck. Everyone sitting here right now, I wish you all good luck for Thursday night, because it's going to be fucked. But how do you boys think we're going to end up matching up with them? I mean, with all the outs we've got at the moment, how do you think we fare matchup wise? JB, take the floor on this one. I know you guys are a bit more into your analytics and all that sort of stuff. We're more of a entertainment, talking the shit sort of thing. So I'm keen to hear you boys have a chat about these matchups here.
Well, I mean, on our podcast, we sort of flagged the changes we'd like to see, and especially after the VFL, I think that sort of solidifies it. So I think Payne comes straight back in for Gardiner, probably. Like there was been a little bit of chat that maybe the knee's not quite so bad, but I would be still giving him the week off anyway. Neil comes in and JL pisses off. Lohman got injured in the VFL yesterday. There's been no update on that, but it looked like a quad or a knee. So, but Tunstall played out of his skin, like 30 touches, 2 goals, plenty of tackles. So he was immense. Exciting. So he comes in as a sub for me, yeah. And obviously Kenny goes out. I think Zorko plays behind the ball, and Duday comes in as well to shore up that back line a little bit, and just give Jared Berry a job that's not behind the ball. Like, just say to Jared Berry, your job today is just follow DeGoey wherever he goes, or even Pendlebury or something like that. Just learn what they do in terms of work ethic and how they go and find the ball, and give him that job, because we saw what happened and everyone harks back to that 2022 final against Clayton Oliver when he had that job and he played out of his skin. Like, he kept Oliver to nothing and he got 25 touches of his own. So give him a job like that to do, where the pressure's not on him to hold up a backline that's falling around him, and just let him do that. Run and do that, and that'll take care of that. And yeah, Zorko behind the ball for me. That's probably the only thing I want to really see. Their forward line, I'm sure Starcevic is going to want to get even on Bobby Hill for what he did to him in the granny.
Oh yeah, big time. Patrick, how are you feeling about the matchups in this one?
I'd be sending Noah Answorth to Bobby Hill, so I think he's got the agility to go with him more so than Starcevic. And they've got a couple others, like kind of less tricky smalls. So, Starcevic might lose a bit of leg speed to someone like McCreary, but that could work. Like, I think largely with them missing Murphy, it could be a little bit of a mismatch with us, forward of the ball. But, more than anything, it just kind of comes down to how it kind of pans out in the middle and our burst from stoppage, because they're one of the most devastating when they're on burst teams. And they've got 2 pretty high-profile wingers. So, matchup, it's pretty even to me. Like, pretty even. We just kind of have a little bit more in terms of tools. So, hopefully the Brisbane weather is kind.
Do you think Billy Frampton goes to Harris again? Do you reckon they pull that trigger again? Or is that a one and done in the grand final and, just take that for what it was?
I don't think it really means anything. Like, I don't think he can play that role as well as he did in the grand final, which is funny because he got 1 disposal or some shit. So it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, and I think there are probably other avenues in terms of like, with Payne being there if Duday comes into the team, given he played pretty limited minutes in the VFL. So it's like there are other avenues for intercept marking, and Harris doesn't necessarily have to dominate and dictate the way that he normally would, particularly if they're wasting a player on it. So, I mean, that was one thing in the grand final that I said to you, like when Nathan Murphy went down, I was like, if they bring Frampton back, we'll win, and they didn't. So,
yeah.
Got that fucking prediction right. God.
Yeah, it's fuck. I was gonna. Shit, I'm blanking here. I had a point to add on to that as well. Holy shit, I've lost my point completely. God damn, why am I like this? Yeah, I guess just with the matchups as well, like especially on grand final day, it was like there's a lot more at stake. And I feel like the pressure and the mindsets of all the players would have been so much different to what we're going to see on Thursday night. Don't get me wrong, obviously they're still going to be playing as hard as they possibly can. At least you'd hope so anyway. But it being a regular season game, I think they know that they can get back at it the following week. Not to say that's an excuse to lose either and just not put an effort in, but I guess it's just in terms of the matchups, They probably might have a lot of similar ones on the evening on Thursday night, but I think in terms of what's at stake here, maybe that the pressure and the outcome is probably going to hopefully be more in our favour, because I feel like we're going to be more hungry to get up on Collingwood, because again they took our flag away from us last year, and I think in the back of the players' minds this is a one game. So sure, losing to Carlton and Fremantle is one thing, but I'm hoping as well that they choose to respond in a way where it's like these are the guys who they took away our end goal by only 4 points last year. We need to get out there and make a statement. And I'm really, really, really hoping that is going to be the case, because losing to Collingwood this Thursday would probably be the most painful loss of the season. With the Carlton game, and especially with the expectations we had in the preseason and how much the media was sort of riding us, I feel like that the boys should be sort of in a case of this is almost going to be life and death. With the Carlton game, losing that in round one, that sucked a lot because of the way we did it and the fashion we lost, and of course, getting the Gabba streak, which I also feel like may play a part in this, because that's a monkey off their back now. They don't need to worry about losing this really long, streak of games, winning games at the Gabba anymore. They can sort of, put that in the back of their mind and just say, hey, look, we've already lost a game here at this season. Let's not stress so much and put so much pressure on ourselves, to keep this streak alive at the Gabba. I don't know if that was a factor behind the scenes, but I feel like to some of us, and even from what I've seen other Lions fans sort of talk about online, it's always just been like, oh my God, but we're about to lose at the Gabba. This is our big winning streak. We don't lose at the Gabba. I don't feel like that pressure would be so much there anymore. I do feel like, however, that they're just going to be so much more hungry to sort of just get back on our feet. Because as I was sort of making the point of, like Carlton, that game really hurt because of the way we lost. Last week was a bit of a different story. I was really calm after losing last week's game, and even like in the last quarter, we were just sort of sitting there just fucking around doing our own thing by the end of the game. We just didn't care anymore, not in the emotions of it anymore. But losing this one on Thursday night, man, this would cut deep, and I think a lot of the players would be pretty shocked by it as well, given just the sheer fact, it's how long since September? It's been like 7 months or so. They just came from the biggest loss of their lives in terms of, how important it was in the grand final. And I just hope that all these little things are sort of in the back of their minds, and it's going to sort of make them hungrier. I think we will come out hungrier against Collingwood to get this game won. Not to say Collingwood will not be trying, because they certainly will be, and they've got their own pressures of their own to deal with, because I know for a fact that none of those guys in the Collingwood team want to be known to be playing for the team that is, the reigning premier and 0-4. That is pretty fucking embarrassing if that's the case. So I think there's going to be a lot at stake here, but at the same time, I do feel like the boys should be able to play with just a bit of freedom and mental freedom, that is, and not so much pressure and emotion, just due to the fact that they can go again next week. When you're in a grand final, that's you it for 6 months after that point, and that played at least for me, that played a big part in my emotions on the grand final day. Obviously, not to mention we're playing for a fucking premiership, but it's just a case of really, let's just get out there and just fucking, let's make it happen, man. This is the team that took it from us last year. So super excited for this one, guys. What about final predictions looking like? Let's just go in a circle. Who we got? Me personally, I think we're going to get up by probably about 3 or 4 goals. A bit of a safe ending in the end of the game, but I do feel like it's going to be pretty tight in the first half personally. How are you guys feeling about it? Let's start with you, Patrick.
Oh, Brooksy can answer for me. I don't do predictions.
Fair enough.
If I was doing tipping, I'd tip the Lions every week, regardless of where they were. So that's always my thing. But I don't do predictions.
Are you cursed?
Nah, just I have delusions of grandeur where I think that my statement will be the reason. So I don't say it.
I feel that's so fucking hard, dude. Seriously, the fact I had them because I don't bet on the Lions at all. Like I'm a bit of a punter. I enjoy a good multi on a Friday night, and every time I have a multi on the Lions game, we end up doing something fucking stupid. And in this case, it was the Carlton game. So, yeah, JB, what's your prediction on this one?
Yeah, I'm sort of with you. I'm hoping we can get the job done by a 3 or 4 goal margin. So comfortable enough that I don't think I'll breathe a sigh of relief until the final siren, no matter what the situation
Absolutely.
is. Absolutely. Yeah, 3 or 4 goal win would be nice.
How about you, Egg? How are you feeling on this one? What's your final score looking like?
My heart says 3 or 4 goals. My head's saying 3 or 4 points. It is not going to be a comfortable game at all, I think.
Yeah.
It's either way, 3 or 4 points.
I think as well.
I think regardless of if it's 3 or 4 points or 3 or 4 goals, the commentary team are going to make it seem like it's 3 or 4 points. So it's going to be a stitch up either way by them trying to keep the Victorian team in it. So
yeah, last Easter.
That's why I'm
Thursday.
so glad I'm not listening to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, last Easter Thursday, we're up by fucking 40 points with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and fucking you got BT on commentary.
Mathematically.
Yeah, it's shut up, dude.
He's so bad.
Oh fuck me, yeah, it's gonna be they're gonna be rife on Thursday night, I think, especially if that commentary team's all together. But look, boys, I'm just hoping I think the boys are going to play a much better game if it's a close game all the way up, and let's just run away with it in the fourth, having a great time. The shades of the second half against Port Adelaide in the qualifier last year, where it was just sort of a bit of an intense game in the first half, and that second half was so much fun. So I'm really hoping we get a similar result to that, at least in the fourth quarter. We need this, guys. We need this. Let's move on to the VFL game, though. So I'm actually really interested to hear sort of your thoughts on Tom Doedee, especially. JB, I know you watched the VFL yesterday. Do you watch the VFL regularly? Are you always someone keeping up with the VFL team?
I try and watch it most weeks, and just to keep an eye on the AFL listed players and seeing how they're going.
Yeah.
It timed out perfectly with the seniors having a bye and the first VFL performance, and then Payne gets a game back. He looked pretty good. He also drifted forward in the third quarter, kicked a couple of goals, which was quite strange. Lohman injured, but before that he was pretty quiet. And I guess with a few spots up for grabs in the team, with McKenna going down, I wanted to keep an eye on Patrick's mate Jackson Pryor to see how he played, Tunstall, and then the new sort of hybrid forwards in Logan Morris and Luke Lloyd, who both played Logan Morris for a big fella moved really well, kicked 4 goals. So I wouldn't be surprised. Fingers crossed we don't get an injury to Hipwood or Danaher, but if he gets a game this year, I wouldn't be overly surprised. But yeah, like I said at the start of the show, Tunstall played really, really well, really well. So he takes Lohman's spot for me, and whether he goes straight into the 22 rather than the sub, and then maybe Dev as a sub or something like that, I'm not sure. But yeah, he looked the goods. He looked the goods for sure.
Fuck yeah, man. It's I see you put a fair few notes on here. I mean, it's Doedee gets through unscathed is sort of something that stood out to me because I was a bit worried about it as well. I'm really, really hoping he plays Thursday night. I think we could really use him down back. But I've got a few mates as well who've got their reservations, sort of saying that maybe they need to ease him back in, it being his second ACL. Did this look like a guy who was coming off his second ACL?
Yeah, he obviously didn't run out a full game and he was on managed minutes. He was pretty composed, and I don't know whether that's the fact that he had lost a bit of pace and sort of had to rely on a bit of composure in his decision making, but he looked fine. Whether they rush him straight back into the senior team, I don't know. We probably don't need to with Collingwood's forward line. They haven't got... Well, they got McInnes is their designated tall and Myercheck, and I think between Lester, Payne and Harris, we could probably cover their tall forward line. It's obviously the Swallows that got us last time, so we probably don't need to rush Doedee back in, but I guess it's the sooner we can get him into the team, the better. So he can get back up to that AFL level. So I wouldn't mind either way if he plays or not, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of like I'd rather us play it safe, but I'm not going to complain if I do see Duday out there on Thursday night. Just because Lord knows we need it, man. If we had Kitty Coleman or if, something like that down back, I'd be absolutely on the boat of fuck dude, let's just bubble wrap Duday for as long as it takes. Because I know in the second half of the season he's probably going to come in pretty clutch for us, given his history at the Crows. I actually haven't watched too much of Duday in the past, so I've been learning a lot about him this year. So yeah, exciting times ahead for him, man, and good on him as well for getting back out there after a second ACL, because that's fucking scary, man. Like if I'd just done 2 ACLs and I'm running out there on a footy field, I'd be pretty cautious at all times. And even once I'm back up and running, it would just be a case of I got to watch this all the time. But that's just me. I'm a bit of a warrior, and I'm hoping that Duday isn't so hesitant and stuff like that. But I would totally understand if he is, and doesn't end up getting himself out on the Gabba on Thursday night. As cool as it would be to see, but saying that as well, 2 games in 6 days. Yeah, sorry.
Maybe you play him and sub him off.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets half a game under his belt, and then we've still got plenty of tall down back.
Yeah,
just to give him some game time.
I think that was kind of the biggest thing I was looking at in terms of just minutes played by him, is that if he played a full game, I certainly thought that he would not be named next week. But given that he was on shorter minutes, then I think it's pretty clear that that'll happen. Which is, it's good, because I a bit like you, I haven't watched too much of him. Like I probably saw him in the grand final team back in the day for Adelaide back in 17.
Yeah, 17.
Probably. I don't know. But sort of neither here nor there. But I think, just in terms of that and what it could bring for the team. And I think it's probably worth noting that as much as we're kind of, we're looking at it going, okay, the Lions have picked up a guy that's done 2 ACLs and is looking to come back. It's also on him. He chose to come to a competitive team and to try and make a difference. So I think that shows a bit of what he's about, because he could have gone to any other team. He could have stayed at Adelaide, but he wanted to go to one of the best teams in the competition, and it kind of shortlisted down to being Collingwood or the Lions. So he obviously has the work ethic to know what he needs to do. We saw that in him, and I think that those 2 things have to have had aligned for the decision to be made. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been made. So I've got every faith that he'll, at least by sort of mid to the end of the year, he'll be firing.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to need him in the second half of the season. Kitty Coleman's a massive loss. I harp on about it every single week at this point. I'm probably going to for the rest of the season, because he quickly became one of my favourite players. But something that was said on, I believe it was the Raw Deal, was that Kitty Coleman wasn't a player that was very replaceable up until probably the tail end of last year. So we've gone through seasons without him and having him mostly just in the VFL side and stuff like that. So let's see how it all pans out from here. And I'm hoping Duday can, what would be awesome to see is he just gets comfortable very quickly. His body's feeling good. We got that fucking that really good medical team and conditioning staff that I've done miracles with guys before. Like Lincoln McCarthy's my biggest and most favorite example of this. A guy who played I think 20 odd games over a 6-year period for Geelong, just due to injuries and all that sort of stuff, and just could not catch a break. Comes to the Lions and he's been a mainstay for well over 5 years now. So let's hoping that they can do much the same with Duday and sort of keep him out of trouble, because Lord knows we're going to need him. But it's.
I think if you're looking for him to be a direct replacement for Coleman, you probably need to look elsewhere. So he won't be that. He's more of, we're looking at the upgrade on someone like Ryan Lester or Darcy Gardner. So
that's a good point.
He'd be the one that can play tall, play small, but his disposal, he probably won't be the kind of player to take on those kicks that we would assume someone like Coleman would. So temper that a little bit. Because, I think you're right. Whilst Coleman hasn't necessarily been a mainstay in a lot of the previous seasons, he's become irreplaceable in terms of his skill set. There are very few kickers in the competition that can really do what he can do. I think Errol Goulden is probably the best kick in the comp, with Coleman just behind him. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, can we just get Errol Goulden to just play?
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome, man. Just seeing Errol Goulden in the maroon, gold and blue. That'd be something, dude. He's going to be an incredible player. Something I found quite...
I just got to pick a bone with Brooksy here. So Jackson Pryor, 27 disposals, second highest ball winner on the pitch.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, he played all right.
You said he
played
was
alright.
good, but not good enough to warrant mention.
He also found enough time to get in as many scraps as he could and get distracted by the opposition. And some of his disposal was still a bit poo.
It's just because he knows. He knows that I have screenshots of every fight he's ever been in, and I look at them periodically to remind myself what it's like to fight for the team. Don't you want that level of fight against Collingwood? Someone that will put one right in Nick Dacos's mush, wear a week, become a cult hero.
We need that.
Yeah.
The old Zork would. The old Zork would do it in a heartbeat, but
The new Zork would do it too, but we don't want him to do that. We want a good Zork.
we want a nice Zork. But maybe I don't know. I feel like it's funny because when he was a captain, he was such a dickhead sometimes, and now that he's not captain, he's just like the fucking best. Like I don't know. I know that I'm sort of on my own with this opinion when it comes to like casuals, because like everyone around me here in Perth hates Dane Zorko. Like I wouldn't say he's public enemy number one, but fuck people.
I hate Dane Zorko.
You really?
He's a piece of shit, but he's our piece of shit, so we love
Exactly.
him.
Yeah, he's fucking absolutely. He's our piece of shit, man. Like that's why you got to embrace it. Like it's like I don't know if you guys are NBA fans, but it's like if I had Dylan Brooks on my team, I don't like Dylan Brooks
Is
generally.
that your brother, Brooksy? JB's brother, Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh, does he
My
actually?
no.
So it's just like if I had Dylan Brooks on my team, like I'd fucking love it. Like I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. Everyone hates Devin Booker, but I love Devin Booker. Because he's a piece of shit, and I love it. And we got that with Dane Zorko. So yeah, as you said, Brooksy he's a piece of shit, but he's our piece of shit. That's probably the best way to put it with Dane Zorko. But yeah, something I did find interesting also in your notes here was that obviously Bruce Revel, a very left field Coleman replacement perhaps. So can you elaborate on that?
I don't think it's going to happen.
Of
but
course.
Like Revel's been in our VFL team for a few years, and he's been he's had a couple of false promises from Richmond that he was going to get drafted a couple of years ago. Sort of like, yeah, if you're still there, we'll pick you, and it just never happened. So obviously we put him on the rookie list. Daniel Rich actually rates Bruce Revel as one of the better kicks in the Lions like full squad. And the way he was playing yesterday was very Coleman-like, sort of off the half-back, taking some daring kicks. Like it's not nearly as tight. As Pat said, no one can replace the entire skill set that Coleman's got. But with a bit of work, maybe later, if we're really struggling, he might get a game and play that sort of half-back kicking role. But it's a bit of a pipe dream at the moment.
Yeah. You guys put it best before. He is an irreplaceable player, but it would be awesome. Like this is a time for a lot of the VFL guys to step up and sort of get an opportunity as well. I think the season might be a season of opportunities for a lot of these guys, depending on how our health sits. I'm really hoping it doesn't keep trending the way it is, because obviously we had Kyle Lohman go down as well. Do we have an update on that, like if that was serious or anything?
Nothing is yet.
I don't care.
Fair enough. Look, boys, let's move on from the VFL. Like, it is always interesting talking about the VFL. I don't watch much of it. I should watch more of it. I do catch the odd curtain raiser game here and there, like for example the Bulldogs one last year, but not too much of it. But it is always interesting to hear about it. But one of our followers on Instagram want us to sort of touch on the Q clash here, and I actually really feel like might be an interesting time to talk about it, because obviously the Gold Coast played out of their skin for the most part in the first two rounds, other than doing what we do and letting the opposition back in the game after a substantial lead. But I want to talk about like the future of the Q Clash. Do you boys think the Q Clash could become one of the premier rivalries in the competition, sort of compared to like the Showdown and even the Derby of the past, like with this new reinsurgent of the Gold Coast continuing, pending that they continue this trend up?
I read that in the notes, and I thought initially that you were insane, but then I thought about it a bit, and I'm like, you know what? I do tune into like the Showdown and the Derby because it's fucking fun.
Yeah.
And the Battle of the Bridge and stuff like that. Like, I think it's just like Gold Coast's relentless shitness has stopped it from ever being anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also our intermittent shitness, albeit. But no, I think you're onto something there. Like, there's no reason why it couldn't become like a more primetime game. Like, who would you rather watch? Like the Suns and the Lions, or like North Melbourne versus the Bulldogs? Like,
yeah, I'll take a Suns and Lions game, mate. Like, obviously the latest Q Clash we had at Metricon Stadium when Gold Coast just sort of spanked us a little bit there. Like, they looked fucking hungry, and they were making that a very physical game. That's what sort of gets me questioning. Like, if this could become one of the rivalries. And I'm very interested to hear from you boys that live in Queensland. Like, is this something that's ever really talked about, even on the week of the games? Like, do the media really drive this home at all?
You go first with this one. Ed.
I sort of most of it comes from the actual footy clubs themselves. It's, you don't go into the city and then say, "Oh my god, fucking the Q clash this week.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?" Especially when we're such a rugby league dominant state. You don't see a lot of hype for AFL to begin with, let alone the fucking Q clash.
Yeah.
I wish I would like to see them embrace the history of Brisbane Bears on Carrara when they were playing at Carrara. I would like to see them embrace that a little bit more and work that into the Q clash somehow on Gold Coast then. Love
beautiful.
that jersey, bros.
It's so beautiful.
I've got a long sleeve somewhere as well, like an actual match worn Bears long sleeve somewhere as well. But yeah, I would like to see them, because that makes sense. Like Gold Coast can use that somehow. I don't know how, but like they could use it for sure.
Surely we can just be like, we were there first, like, you know.
Well, Gold Coast can say they're a real fucking home of footy in Queensland, because like it was like the birthplace of footy in Queensland or some shit like that. Stuff like that to try and like spice it up a bit. And like I think if both teams are good, that would definitely help, because like since Gold Coast have come in, we've been dog shit, and then we were good, and then Gold Coast was still dog shit, and now this year we could like, it could be like a chance to like have two good Queensland teams. So I think this could be like the first year where it like really kicks off.
That's sort of what I'm feeling as well, because it's like being in Perth, man. Like, I'll tell you boys right now, like the Derby is the biggest thing going, and both these teams fucking suck, by the way. I know we just lost to Fremantle, but let's be real, they're not going to be changing the league this year. I just want to see that, like that sort of intense rivalry that I'm seeing here in Perth. Like, you know, again, both teams suck, but all my group chats, like with a lot of my mates that are into footy, and they're all just Eagles and Dockers guys, and those guys are fucking having civil wars with each other, and I'm just like, my God, like, is this what it's meant to be like, having an interstate rival? Like, I want to hear from you as well, JB, on this one. Like, you also live in Brisbane. Like, what's your perspective on this one too? Because fuck, when it's Derby time over here in WA, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you've got the luxury of living in a footy state, and there's the same with Adelaide as well.
That's something I do need to remember as well. Like, Queensland is not a footy state, as much as I'd like it to be.
And that's it. And I think step one is to get both teams competitive. So I think this year should hopefully be a step towards that. Like, as you said, they spanked us last year, and that was the best I've ever seen a Gold Coast team play in their history, was when they came up against us, and that was led by Turk. So I think if they're consistently good competitive, footballers, then I think that's step one. But we are behind the eight ball in terms of not being a traditional footy state. It's the same as GWS and Sydney. It just doesn't, unless you barrack for either of the teams, you're not going to care that much. Let's be honest. But I hope so. But I still think we're that step behind. We're on the back foot when it comes to those big rivalries. And the showdowns have had some epic moments. Jordan Dawson after the siren last year or the year before, whenever it was, and
Robbie Gray,
the early days, the early days of the Derby, like the big biffs with
Jeff Farmer.
Yeah, like just stuff like that. So we've had our moments, definitely. Stephen May just murdering people on the field.
Yeah.
So if you get a few more iconic moments and two teams that are playing consistently good footy, I think that's going to go a long way to it. But I think it's still a bit off. But I'd love to see it, because I think a lot of, for me anyway, as a Lions supporter, when we're not playing the Gold Coast, I want to see them do well.
Yeah.
Just for the game in Queensland. So they're sort of like not my second team, but I'm happy to watch them and go for them when they're playing others.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point, because there's an element of it being a little bit too nice because they're trying to grow the game up there. And I certainly know, I only moved out of Victoria in 19. I've been here for 5 years. But it's like, I don't think I've ever met anyone that supports the Gold Coast, unironically. So, and even through when the club began. So I think there's definitely an element of it being like, all right, guys, we've got to do this for the game in Queensland. And now that the game in Queensland is in pretty good shape in terms of a junior level, fucking take the gloves off, dudes.
Yeah.
Just cause a bit of shit.
Honestly,
properly.
absolutely. I know
So it could happen over the next 5 years. We could be talking about like this stretch of 5 years being amazing.
Yeah, that's what gets me sort of like. I feel like this year might be the first year because they got Dimmer up there. We know Dimmer's a hard nut as well when he wants to be, and as well Gold Coast, if they are coming as much as everyone says they're coming, that's what she said. It's sort of like that's exciting for the potential prospect of it. It might all kick off this year, and I feel like last year in that particularly the second game, it was sort of the seeds were planted. I sort of felt like the seeds may have been planted as well, and I think it was 2018 when Zork and Took had their little mini feud as well between each other when Zork was being well, let's be real, Zork was totally in the wrong there and being an absolute fucking moron. Excuse me, but it just that could have led to something as well. And obviously, as you guys mentioned, the Stephen May moment that would put a bit of biff into it. But we just need I think there's just one game off from it sort of being one big heated game. Like for the Derby, it was the Demolition Derby showdown. I can't comment. I actually haven't really gone much into the history of it. I just know Adelaide, they love their footy. They're feral for their footy, and I know Port Adelaide fans and Crows fans will if push came to shove, I'm absolutely sure they'd go to war against each other if outside of Adelaide Oval if they needed to. And I think we might just be one game off, one big, heated game away from having that really kick off. And of course, I think as well, this season and Gold Coast seasons would need to play out because I think them finishing in the 8 would be absolutely magnificent for Queensland footy as well as just their fan base and, attracting new fans. I mean, I only know one Gold Coast fan and I only found out about him a week ago that we have a Gold Coast fan at our TAFE. He's unironically a fan, by the way, as well, which is nuts to me. So maybe I can start some shit with him. I don't know. Yeah. Any other?
I'll send you a video about the showdown just because that's rooted in some pretty politicky stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'd love to hear
my dad he played in the Sandford back in the 70s. So he was he lived in Adelaide, played for Sturt.
Nice.
And then found his way in Brisbane. So, he never really had a great deal of love for Adelaide.
Yeah.
Because they're a manufactured team, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's why when we found ourselves in Brisbane, we were going for the local team. So.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's some interesting stuff politically with how the South Australian stuff kind of panned out, and particularly with Port Adelaide and that sort of stuff. So, I'll send you an interesting video.
Absolutely. Good. Yeah, I'd love to watch it, man.
It's not just people punching on. It's an actual.
Yeah, I love those those video essays on YouTube about just the history of local footy, different I watched one last week. I can't remember who made it, but it's an 11-minute video just about the history of Waverley Park. I already knew about the history of Waverley Park and what happened to it, but I guess just seeing it in a video essay format was epic. And I guess as well, Egg, is for you as well, a big reason why I found your channel was from your I think it was one of your video essays. I can't remember which one it was. Either the Scoops one or the it's one of these videos got me really hooked on your content because I just love these sort of video essays that dive into the history of footy, even if it's recent history. Like Egg, you did the video on Port Adelaide's 2007 grand final performance and how it almost shit their club for a while. It was love that sort of stuff. So definitely send it through, Patrick. That'd be awesome.
Well, I'm very excited for the LA Crocodiles story coming out. So no pressure.
Yeah, I think we're up to
some pressure.
That's gonna be sick, man. That'll be a sick watch.
I don't know about Crocodiles.
The LA Crocodiles.
Oh, LA because I'm pretty sure there's a team over in Berlin called the Berlin Crocodiles. Because one of my brothers lives over in Berlin, and he said that he went down and trained with the local AFL team in Berlin, and they were
that's mad.
Berlin Crocodiles.
Yeah, it's like we got
crazy.
Footy internationally is getting into a very interesting stage. I had a mate who's an umpire, and he went over to the USAFL last year or the year before for a summer carnival or something like that. And he got to fucking do he got to umpire with Razor Ray. And mind you, this is just a local amateur footy umpire. And he gets to go work with Razor Ray. I'm loving that sort of shit. So that's going to be exciting too. I want to do I'd love to watch a USAFL game in the States. It'd be just so fucking weird.
I just stopped myself from vomiting at USAFL. That just feels
so weird. It is. It's so fucking strange, man.
That was the one good thing COVID did for footy was it was basically the only, big league sport on in the world. And, sports nuts over in the US that were craving any sort of competitive sport. They ended up watching it. Pat McAfee went off on his podcast on it. And then you go to the AFL Reddit and every week there's a new hey, new fan from America, who should I barrack for? That sort of stuff. So I think COVID really did wonders for the AFL in that respect. And
one of the
things you could say COVID did well for.
There was a weird moment in that infamous game against Richmond at the MCG from a couple of years back. Two Scousers sitting behind me, like couldn't understand a word they were saying, just like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, man, people from Liverpool are really hard to understand.
Yeah.
But very weird. What were they doing there? Who knows?
Yeah, it's always interesting, like introducing Americans or like any foreigner to our sport. Like that is the most intriguing thing to me. Just seeing how they react to it, because they love their gridiron, but here we are playing a more far more complex and elaborate sport that's just as much contact without the padding. So I feel like they would eat that up. Like if it just got a good amount of traction, but obviously that is so much easier said than done, man. Getting good traction in the States when they've got, the NBA, MLB, NHL, NFL, you name it, they've got it. But it would be awesome to sort of see, maybe a more minor league sort of thing going on in the States. But man, maybe in 10 years we'll see that. I
want to touch on this real quick. I think the AFL needs to pump some money into the US AFL and help grow it organically from that standpoint. Like get young people involved, and similar to what they've done in Queensland, do some actual programs and youth leagues that people can play and really learn to appreciate and love the sport in that department, rather than just watching it overseas. I think the AFL definitely needs to take some money, especially with the new TV rights still coming up, and pump it into the US AFL, give them some funding so they can actually accomplish more and do some more in the States.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of the biggest,
sorry, one more thing. Instead of doing what the fucking NRL did and just fucking invade Vegas for a week and then congratulate yourself and end up bombing on ratings. Yeah.
I didn't understand that at all. But how good would that have been as a swerve if Vince McMahon's XFL was actually just the Aussie rules? That would have been a great swerve, and bring that one back with NBC. So he's, albeit persona non grata at the moment, but he always finds a way to worm himself back. But
he'll find a way somehow, man. It's somehow, some way he'll find a way. I mean, we're going on a quick side.
He'll be the first legitimate zombie, I feel.
Yeah. I've always said that.
Let's not go into that.
I've always said he would never die, but he might. He might just die. Yeah. I mean, he might just not die. He'll probably just be cryogenically frozen or something annoying. True Vince McMahon fashion too, by the way. That man's never going to die. He sort of falls in the same category.
Disney hanging out.
Yeah, he falls in the same category. And John Cena falls in this category of me for lizard people, like Mark Zuckerberg, fucking Elon Musk. Now you got Vince and Cena. The Rock is pushing that territory. Believe me, he's fucking pushing it. But yeah, we'll move on because this pod it's a lot longer than usual, and especially for a bye round. But I'm here for it, man. It's been a lot of fun, boys, and I guess just to put a bit of a bow on it, let's maybe chat some general footy talk, maybe about the league so far. Who are we thinking is looking the good so far, guys? At the moment, I'm feeling real hot about Sydney. I know you're feeling the same way as well, JB. But boys, who are we feeling? How you been enjoying your footy so far this season? All Lions things aside, anyone take the floor?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Sydney looks real good. I mean, and obviously it's a small sample size, but I mean, I've always had a bit of respect in the way Sydney goes about it. They're never far off. They're perennial finalists. John Longmire obviously saw what they lacked last year and went out and got it. They got Grundy and Taylor Adams, and they got a key defender in Hamling. But it's just they've got so many good kicks in that team as well. The Lizard looks another level. Even someone like Lewis Melican looks like he's gone up another level this year as well. And into that Goulden, Braden Campbell is a fucking fantastic kick of the footy as well. Chad
Warner's got better since he cut his fucking hair off. So
yeah, they look legit. The way St Kilda have played their first couple of rounds have been pretty good as well. And suddenly, I know I shouldn't be surprised, but Geelong is back winning games of footy as well. So don't count them out. Yeah, it's hard to go past Sydney at the moment. I think they'll be right at the pointy end. And
Geelong being good again scares me, by the way. I hate it.
Yeah,
isn't it?
They're so well coached, Geelong. They're unbelievably well coached in the way they play. And watching that game yesterday, I was definitely thinking if there's a world where Chris Scott comes to the Lions, it's you can see some players that are underperforming and that could really light their career back online for the Lions if that was something that was going to happen. Another one I'd say is like, although they didn't win last night, Essendon look significantly better. I think their recruitment, like, I'm not the biggest fan of old short fella from St Kilda that went there. Can't remember his name.
Gresham.
Jade Gresham. I think he's pretty average, but he looked a bit better. And I'm definitely not a fan of Xavier Dersma, but he seemed pretty handy. They seem all right. They're a little bit rough, bit uncut at this point in time, but I think they're all right. And I do think Fremantle are actually better than probably what, like, I think I said to you, Brooksy, in our preseason where I thought Fremantle could jump, but I might be the only person that thought that. Looking at the competition on whole, there's fucking few gimmies, I tell you what. Like, I'm not looking forward to playing North Melbourne, to be honest. Like,
they've improved. Like, I think they're going to shock a few people this season. I mean, they're young, but they're hungry. I mean, you see how they started against Fremantle yesterday. Like, goddamn, we wouldn't have seen that from any North Melbourne team over the past 5 years or so.
No.
Yeah, it's been it's an interesting one, man, and I want to echo that point about St Kilda.
Yeah, I've got to mention the Giants.
Yeah, how can we forget the Orange team, man?
Prelims last year, and they'll be back. Like, their forward line, it looks even more dangerous now. Callum Brown's taken a step up, and Hogan is, he's kicked like 10 goals in the first 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, something stupid.
And then Riccardi, and then of course Toby Green and Brent Daniels running around. So they'll be good, and then they've got a fairly handy midfield, and their defense is like they're ticking all the boxes at the moment as well. The Giants.
Yeah, man, they're looking really good. Super impressive as well because of how they started last season. Went 4-12, make a prelim. Fucking Bob's your uncle, man, and the world's their oyster at the moment. Like, they're just such a fun team to watch too. Like, so much personality over there. Obviously, the admin team is just their social media team is insane. So you'd love to be a Giants fan right now. Not that there's many of them. Yeah, man. I think Egg, who are you feeling this season as well, other than obviously the boys?
I think I think I've got GWS winning the flag this year. If not us, that's who I want to win a premiership. I think they're really due. They have too good of a list, too good of a personnel to not make another deep challenge in September. If not GWS, maybe Sydney. I've got a big soft spot for Sydney. I have family members who support Sydney. I've got good mates who support Sydney. Yeah, it's good and teams like Gold Coast and St Kilda, who've already been mentioned just now, when new teams get good, like, it's very exciting for the league because, like, it's a adjustment to the status quo. I used to be a big V8 Supercars fan, but like I stopped being interested in it because it was the same fucking team winning all the damn time, the goddamn Red Bull Holdens, and I just lost interest in that shit. Whereas now, like, in the AFL, like, it's a different team every year almost. With the exception of the Richmond dynasty that happened a couple years ago. Like, it's you don't know who's going to win. Like, it's such an even comp, and that it might not be good for us, but it's still so healthy for the league overall.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Like, when the Bulldogs won in 2016, how fucking awesome was that? Like, you never ever heard about the Bulldogs really doing much. Yes, fuck them now, but at the time it was super exciting, man. Like, I've never rooted for a team. Oh, actually, Richmond, I lied. Richmond in 2017, but never rooted for a team that wasn't my own that hard in my life. So, yeah, I think we'll wrap this one up here, boys. Unless you got anything else to add here.
The only thing I'll add is probably just like a lot of teams being competitive and stuff can just lead to a little bit more. Like, they talk about an even competition, but how many teams were really like gunning for the top 8 last year? It was an absolute logjam to try and get in there. And it could take the heat off the idea of a perfect season as well,
Yeah.
We saw last year, what did we lose? We dropped 6 games and still made top 2. Port Adelaide close to it. And it's like, that's pretty unheard of in the last decade. It tends to be a little bit more perfect in terms of dropping fewer games. So it could lead to a bit more spice, a bit more at stake, kind of in that like chugging middle point of the season, and it could help us this season if that's the case. So I'm clutching at straws here. Yeah,
it's going to be a very exciting season ahead. Like, I'm just stoked footy's back. I'm stoked that footy is competitive, and yeah, dude, super exciting season ahead. It's going to be a tight finish as well at the end of this one, and let's just hope that we're the ones on on top at the end of it. Maybe not first. I kind of like our odds at second. You know, the team that finishes second more often than not wins the flag. I think that's the stat, or it might be third. I can't remember. I got to maybe look that one up before I fucking spout that one out next time. But
I think it's probably third, providing they're a Victorian-based team.
Yeah,
because they would likely get a home one. So it's kind of a bit of it's a hard interstate comparison to make, but. I don't mind the idea of playing a couple games down here to get there. So
yeah. Well, fuck, we need more experience at the G. It's kind of a rip that we only play there twice a year. That's a whole topic we could just bust open. To be honest, like the fixturing can be a bit of a pain when it comes to giving us a chance at the MCG. Like last year, we played Collingwood at Marvel, and I think we did the same thing in 2021. Like, when was the last time we actually played a home and away game at the MCG against Collingwood? Did I say Carlton? I meant Collingwood. Because I feel like it's been a while.
It's like 2017, I think.
Yeah, it's something stupid, and we should be playing there more often. But yeah. Anyway, guys, this has been the main event, the buy-around edition, of course, collaborated here with BLFancast, Brisbane Lions Fancast. You can check them out at BLFancast. Do you have anywhere else where people can find you other than Instagram?
Just the website, brisbanelionsfancast.com.au. Easy to go there. We're giving away a double pass to the Q Clash in round 8. So if anyone is interested in winning that, they can do that. We've got a bit of a meat tray raffle situation going on there. So
whoosh. Yes, everyone do get around that. It sounds super exciting. It sounds like an awesome time. And of course, thank you guys again, JB and Patrick, for jumping on this edition of the main event with myself and Egg Footy. This has been an absolute blast talking footy and Lions with you guys. And of course, you can check us out at Main Event Pod on Instagram. And of course, you can find us wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And of course, YouTube, because that's where you're watching this video, or you might be listening to this on Spotify. Whatever you go is, you can find us anywhere. And don't forget as well to leave us a 5-star review on our Apple, as well as Spotify. And if you leave us a review, actually putting words into it, we'll read it on the show. Next show probably. So go around and do that, and go do the same for the boys at Brisbane Lions Fancast. It's been an absolute blast chatting with these guys, and definitely go check out their work too. It's a lot of fun. I feel like there's a lot of Brisbane Lions content going around, no shortage of it, and I can't complain about that. It's been great. So that's gonna be us, guys, for this week on the main event. Definitely give us a follow, all that fun stuff. We'll see you next time after we play Collingwood, and of course, good luck to all of us this Thursday, fellas. Good luck. We're all going to need it.